What does equality really mean? It's a question that has been pondered, debated, and dissected from every imaginable angle. As we delve into this topic, it's essential to recognize that equality isn't a one-size-fits-all concept. It is interpreted and understood differently, depending on who you ask. In the pursuit of gender equality, a recent regulation has been enacted that requires women to sign up for the draft at the age of 18, the same as men. This new rule, a significant step toward leveling the playing field, has been met with a mixed bag of reactions. Among the most vocal are women who've long been advocating for equality. These women, who've shouted "smash the patriarchy" from rooftops and demanded equal rights and opportunities, are now faced with an interesting predicament. While they've been striving for equality, the recent regulation has been met with mockery and derision, a stark contrast to their previous demands. Their response begs the question, why the sudden change in tune? These women who fought tooth and nail for equal rights are now making light of a regulation that brings them one step closer to the equality they've been clamoring for. They've demanded the same rights and privileges as men, but it seems they're not willing to shoulder the same responsibilities. The implications of their reactions are profound. It's as if there's a disregard for the countless men who've lost their lives in the line of duty, a lack of recognition for the sacrifices made in the name of national security. The goofy comments and jests seem to undermine the gravity of the situation and the solemnity of the commitment that comes with enlisting for the draft. So, what's the real issue here? Is it about equality or about selective equality? It appears that some are happy to accept the privileges that come with equality, but are hesitant when it comes to bearing the responsibilities. As we continue to explore this topic, we must ask ourselves, what does equality really mean? And are we ready to embrace it in its entirety? Everyone wants to enjoy the rights and privileges, but what about the responsibilities that come along with them? Let's take a moment to ponder on this. Many women have long been advocating for equality, voicing their desire to have the same rights and privileges as men. And rightfully so, for equality is not a favor, it's a human right. But with every right comes a responsibility. The two are inseparable sides of the same coin. Recently, a new regulation has been introduced. Soon, women will be required to enlist to be drafted for war when they turn 18, just as men have been doing for generations. Many women who have been fighting for equality are now faced with a responsibility that has traditionally been associated with men, and it seems that it's not being taken as seriously as it should. Some women are making light of this new regulation, making offhand comments and jokes. But is this not a contradiction? They've asked for equality, and now that they're getting it, they're making fun of a responsibility that men have shouldered for years, a responsibility that has cost many men their lives. This behavior prompts us to ask the question, did these women truly want equality? Or did they just want the rights and privileges of men without the attached responsibilities? We must understand that the essence of equality lies in sharing both the privileges and the burdens. It's about standing shoulder to shoulder, fighting the same battles, and facing the same consequences. It's not about picking and choosing what suits us and disregarding what doesn't. When we demand equality, we must be ready to accept the whole package. We can't just take the good and leave the bad. We can't just enjoy the rights and ignore the responsibilities. That's not how it works. Equality is not a buffet where we can select what we want and leave what we don't. It's a set menu, and we must have it all or none at all. It's not about cherry-picking the benefits while ignoring the burdens. That's not equality. True equality means embracing both the privileges and the responsibilities that come with them. Equality comes with a price. Are we ready to pay it? This question is more pertinent now than ever. As we delve into the implications of the new regulation requiring women to enlist for the draft at 18, just like their male counterparts, we're faced with a challenging reality. This regulation is undeniably a step towards equality, but it's a hefty step, one that leaves us teetering on the edge of a precipice. It's a stark reminder that equality isn't about cherry-picking the perks. It's not a buffet where we fill our plates with rights and privileges, conveniently overlooking the duties and responsibilities that come along with them. It's about balance. It's about understanding that if we demand the same rights, we must be ready to shoulder the same responsibilities, bear the same burdens. It's about recognizing that the path to equality is not a bed of roses, but a road strewn with thorns. Some reactions to this new regulation have been, to put it mildly, dismissive. There's been a barrage of mocking comments, jibes that make light of this new responsibility. But in the midst of this jesting, we seem to forget the gravity of what we're talking about here. Let's not forget that behind this regulation and the concept of enlistment lies the grim reality of war. The men who have been required to enlist have often paid the ultimate price. Their lives, their sacrifices, their bravery, their loss, should never be made the subject of mockery or trivialization. Equality is a noble pursuit, but it's not a one-way street. It's not just about gaining rights and privileges. It's also about accepting responsibilities, about understanding the costs, and being willing to pay the price. It's about realizing that with great power comes great responsibility. So, as we stand at this crossroads, let's remind ourselves, equality isn't just about the good parts, it's about sharing the burdens as well. And maybe, just maybe, we'll find that we're more than ready to pay the price of equality. Is the idea of equality just a facade? As we delve further into the reality of equality, we can't help but notice a certain contradiction. The reactions to the new regulation requiring women to enlist for draft at 18 just like men seem to expose a skewed perception of equality. It's fascinating to see how some women who were quick to shout "smash the patriarchy" and demand equal rights and privileges are now making light of a situation that men have faced for generations. The same women who sought equality are now scoffing at the enlistment regulation, showing disregard for the countless men who lost their lives during wars. This brings us to a rather uncomfortable question. Did they truly want equality, or were they simply eager for the rights and privileges that come with it, without the accompanying responsibilities and risks? The reactions to the new regulation might suggest the latter. When we talk about equality, it's not just about the glamorous side, the rights and privileges. It also means sharing the burdens, the responsibilities, and yes, the risks. True equality means standing shoulder to shoulder in times of peace and war, in joy and sorrow. Unfortunately, the reactions to the new regulation expose a harsh reality that some people may not really want true equality. They seem to be more comfortable with a skewed version of it, where they can enjoy the benefits without having to pay the price. It's easy to demand equality, but it's a lot harder to actually live it. It requires courage, resilience, and a willingness to step out of our comfort zones. It means accepting the good with the bad, the privileges with the responsibilities. So, where does this leave us? Perhaps it is time to reevaluate our perception of equality. Is it just about rights and privileges, or is it also about responsibilities and risks? Should it be an all-or-nothing deal? Or can we pick and choose the parts we like? Maybe it's time to redefine what we mean by equality. So, where does this leave us in the quest for equality? As we've journeyed through this discussion, we've dissected the complex layers of equality and the concept of shared rights and responsibilities. We've seen how the desire for equality has led to women being required to enlist for potential military draft at the age of 18, a responsibility previously only held by men. This development has sparked various reactions, sometimes laced with humor, sometimes with gravity, and often with a mix of both. We've seen the conversation around this new regulation. It's a conversation filled with diverse perspectives, and a conversation that is far from over. From those who are poking fun at the situation to those who are taking a serious look at the implications, it's clear that this regulation has stirred up a hornet's nest of emotions and opinions. But amidst the chatter and the laughter, we've also seen a larger issue come to the fore. The question of what equality really means. Does it mean having the same rights and privileges, or does it extend to bearing the same responsibilities as well? And if it's the latter, are we ready to embrace the full spectrum of what equality entails, even when it's inconvenient or challenging? These are questions that we all need to ponder over. As we navigate through this evolving landscape of equality, it's crucial to remember that true equality is not about cherry-picking the benefits that suit us, while disregarding the burdens. It's about sharing in both the privileges and the responsibilities, the highs and the lows, the victories and the defeats. So let's continue this conversation, let's question, let's challenge, and let's rethink our understanding of equality. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about the right to vote or the right to work or even the right to enlist. It's about the right to be treated as equals in every sense of the word. Equality is not about selective benefits, it's about shared responsibilities. Think about it.